I just want to, like, before we get into this, do we want to reveal the fact that I'm a host at the end, like we did with Dom, or do we want to?
I don't know.
Maybe this should just be it.
I was just gonna say, is this the reveal? Is this the reveal right now?
This is how we do it. I don't know.
This is my moment. All right, yeah, we don't have to over it.
I'll tell you what I had thought. I hadn't run it to you guys. I had thought this whole thing where, like, at the end of the episode, we do like a sketch, an improvised sketch, which always goes so well.
Oh yeah.
Well, like an improvised sketch that I always insist on us doing, even though you can listen to any of our commercials for merch.
We're all too insane to stick to the premise.
Usually like a dark portal opens somewhere. We just can't help but add it to the story. Yeah. But like my idea was, you know, near the end of the episode, we did this thing where like, oh, and Kevin, you're about, thanks for joining us. You're gonna get on the bus. But what if but oh no, the bus driver's dead. You guys are gonna stay here with us forever. And then, like, I didn't know what that implied, though. It implied that, like, we're hell, I guess, and I don't know.
I love that this whole time we've been taking a bus to do this show.
I think we should have. I think we should have probably, like, built that up in the fiction beforehand and been like, okay, when a guest comes on the show, they arrive in a bus, right? So we're gonna do the bus shtick, and then they go away in the bus. But the bus driver, if he dies, then I guess no more guests.
It's kind of also making it be like a little bit like you're not going to care that the bus driver's dead if you've never met them or heard, you know, know anything about
No,
them.
it's like Chad. You're right. It's a good thing we didn't set up the bus thing, because then everyone would have cared about, like, Franklin, the bus driver that we would have always talked about.
God, Franklin, he had so many kids to feed.
He had so many kids. Oh God, if he hadn't been part of the fucking Quiverful movement and had 17 goddamn kids.
Quiverful? I don't know what the quiver. I'm
Quiverful
intrigued.
movement.
I'm intrigued. What is?
What?
Hold on. Is this implying that our penises have a quiver full of babies in them?
I mean, I guess so. I'm gonna pull it. I mean, I want to, like, be respectful to the Quiverful movement. Also, I don't, because they are killing the planet.
The Quiverful movement.
Okay.
Quiverful is, according to Wikipedia, this top thing is a theological position held by some conservative Christian couples who belong to Christian denominations that see children as blessings from God. It thus encourages procreation, abstaining from all forms of birth control, including natural family planning and sterilization.
There's a tremendous amount of khaki pants in the Quiverful movement pictures, like the image search. Holy shit. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I trying to find the original quote, but I remember when I first heard about it years ago, around the time that, like, TLC was doing all the, like, 18 kids and counting shows. Like, can you get a load of this shit? Like, it was that Quiverful was that each child is an arrow in the quiver of God.
God has a bow and arrow now?
Well, yeah, but he's gonna fire you. Well, your arrow is your semen / your children, I guess.
Okay.
And that, like, the more arrows you have, the more chances God has to
kill Satan.
Kill Satan, I guess. Like, hit the bullseye. Like, hit Satan in his weak point. For
each one of
damage.
Each one of us is a warrior against Satan. Yes. Okay. I'm on board with
that. How about God hit the fucking archery range and practice a little more?
Yeah, get good, God.
It's a poor craftsman who blames his tools. If, like, this dude needs one arrow, and he got it 2,000 years ago.
Maybe the owner of Dockers prayed really hard to God and was like, I need money, God, and you can't be good at shooting your arrow. We need to make a lot of arrows so I can sell my khaki pants. John Docker prayed really hard.
No one buys khaki pants unless there's religious pressure.
Sure. Yeah, at least your middle school makes you wear them for Catholic middle school. Like, right. Yeah, God said, make them wear khakis.
Same.
So that no one's butts are flattering.
I think I own a pair of khakis. Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, you don't want them to be too sexy. You don't want the butts looking too good. You know?
But I will say, when someme's butt was good in khakis, that was a good butt.
You knew that they were like, it was a true test. It was like the pee test where you're like, I can see the good butt in that. That's a princess's butt.
So yeah, Quiverful movement is shooting. Yeah, you just want to get
Shoot
as many kids as possible. It also feels a little bit like we need to bolster the white people numbers as much as we can. It feels a little bit.
There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of
that. There is like a race war sort of energy to it.
Yeah. There's always a little bit of that to it for sure. Listen, if someone listens to this podcast that's like, I'm a quiverful kid, please, I would love to hear what it was like to grow up with 16 kids and all of you are homeschooled by the same mom who couldn't keep on one lesson plan. I would love to know.
I feel like the trajectory, pun slightly intended, for a quiverful kid
nice.
is probably to be like, I am never fucking if this is the consequence.
Yeah. Oh, you think they're like, no?
I'm just saying. I escaped Catholicism and now I feel guilty about nothing.
Oh, you've rebounded the other way. You've gone the full other way then.
Yeah. And that's a lie. I escaped Catholicism and I feel guilty about
I was going to say, I simply feel guilt about everything. I'm feeling all of your guilt, I think.
So I guess you can still fuck if you're post-quiver, but like it's begrudgingly.
Yeah, maybe there's a little bit more of a fear of it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like you're teaching abstinence through the abstinence of abstinence as you're like the adult is like, I'm gonna fuck so crazy that these kids are like, I will never fuck because I do not want to be I don't want to be a party to that.
Must be a lot of pressure to get married because I assume that's part of it, right? It's not like a free love.
I don't think it's just like go around and lay pipe everywhere. I don't.
No. Yeah, it's get married and lay pipe. You're gonna build a pipe works at your house.
You have the best plumbing possible in your house.
Yes, your house will have incredible plumbing. It's Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's Kenneth character in that. The guy who plays Kenneth in 30 Rock.
Oh, he's like, why would God put a jungle gym, a playground next to a
sewage? Yeah, like you're feeling that level of terror about sex.
Honestly, that's one of the best arguments against sex I've ever heard. Like that joke line on that movie. I'm like, yeah, why are the dick and balls down there?
I mean, it sounds like you've never had fun in a sewer.
There's all sorts of fun things down there. Just
yeah. Come on, kids. It's crazy down here.
Kevin, with that argument, you are invited to be a full-time host of this show.
Yeah, that's how it happens. Host counselor Kevin.
And your first order as new host, kill Franklin the bus driver who drives guests here.
He's like in the parking lot. You can see him from here just waving.
He's idling in his bus.
reading a book. I'm trying to better his life. Kevin, do it.
All right, I take a deep breath and hold it, and I center my sights on Franklin.
And you shoot your arrow, your mini arrows.
I'm sorry, Franklin.
Empty your quiver, Kevin.
Empty your quiver to Franklin. Do it. I want to see you do it.
You live by the quiver, you die by the quiver. Kevin, putting a Boromir sound here.
Blow the horn.
Just the 7 different arrows going into him.
Yeah, Franklin manages one last horn toot on the bus before dying.
And somehow the horn on his bus is cut in two and falls over a waterfall.
Man, Lord of the Rings was great. That was a great book and a great movie.
I'm reading it right now, and it's a great book, and I haven't read it since I was younger. But dude, I get it, JRR. You like a lot of trees, and you know a lot of trees. But you're not doing anything for me when you're talking about all these kinds of trees. All I'm hearing is tree.
Trees a lot? I don't remember there being a lot of trees.
Dude, I'm reading it too, and that bitch loves trees.
Book one is 50% trees.
Yeah. I mean, it's 50% trees and 300% Tom Bombadil.
Oh, sure. Goodness.
I don't know if I love that guy or hate that guy, but he is so weird and present.
He is there. He's very there.
I will forever be mad we didn't somehow I get why not, why they didn't get a movie version of Tom Bombadil in there. I get it.
I totally get most of the changes to the movie because honestly, I just got through the council at Rivendell, and it is just paced awful.
Oh yeah, they talk way too much in that council.
That chapter is 25% of the. I know we're throwing around a lot of percent, so they're not going to add up. I promise you.
There's 60% trees, 35% Rivendell, another 45 of the Mines of Moria,
150% bad math,
yeah. And 100% reason to remember the name.
There it is.
I mean, I like it a lot. I kind of get where George R.R. Martin is coming from, where Tolkien is just skipping over the feasts.
Right.
We go and eat with the elves, and we're told dinner was served, and then we bounce, and it's like, what do the elves eat? Like, what do they got going on? I really want to know.
That's the Redwall series.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Brian Jacques is he's like the universe's answer to J.R.R. Tolkien, because he's like, we're gonna talk about the flagons of red currant ale and tarts and cheeses and all kinds.
And it was
of
all
fun
made
stuff.
by bunnies and squirrels, so it's cute
my
too.
God!
Not
And
only is it delicious, it's
the
cute.
moles have ladles and they call it zoop, not soup.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You got to read yourself some Jocks, baby.
Are the moles like dwarves? Because that'll
Yes.
get me in there.
Absolutely.
I would say this. I don't remember the mole. I would say the salamanders. Wait, no. Salamandstrom is their like castle. The badgers are the dwarves. I would say of the.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, or maybe even like. Would you say dwarves or like just?
I mean, maybe barbarians. Maybe like a barbarian.
Yeah, or like
or a
not
Viking.
to jump genre, but like the Archons from StarCraft. I feel like the Badgers are like the big bruisers.
Badgers are def OP. If they had a couple Badgers at Redwall when it was invaded,
oh my
things
god,
would have been fine. Things would have been fine.
Okay, all right, I'm in. I'm interested.
Kevin, we have ordained you to join us on this coverage of another Goosebumps book, and boy, oh boy, this one's a real book.
This book is a ride. It's a full on ride.
It is a ride.
I actually really like this one. Maybe I debated up until opening my mouth if I was going to say really liked or just liked, so I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Now you've set yourself onto now there's a line, right? Where we can judge where they fall on the Kevin Cole liking scale, and this is a really like. This is far to the right.
Yeah, that is what came out of my mouth. So I guess I'm the guy who really likes this fucking book. But I will defend this book as being relevant in the current cultural moment. So.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I kind of want to make you give that essay right now, but we could save it for later if you want.
As we unpack it.
We'll get to it. I have pages of notes here. So.
Kevin, I have the most notes I've ever written for a Goosebumps book for this one.
It's a lot to take in on this one.
See, I started taking notes, but then around like 10 chapters in, I just abandoned my notes. It's like, well, none of this matters.
No. Okay, Chad, I'm with you. And for a while, I was taking like thought notes, and then I just started taking quotes from the book because ridiculous things would happen, and I was like, this needs to be remembered. I got to be able to bring this up.
There are some amazing quotes, and I promise that we will get to this quote and why it matters, but I just need to put this quote out of context.
Okay.
Eventually we will bring up a quote that goes, like a moron, I sat there gobbling nuts.
I didn't even process that line. Yeah.
We'll get there. We will get there.
I have a quote from around that section as well. A little different, but it's right around there.
So we're following this story of a young boy named Matt, I guess.
The greatest name in Goosebumps, dumb, Matthew Amsterdam.
Was that his actual last name? I thought it was like a weird nick. Okay, that's his last name.
His name is Matthew Amsterdam.
Why?
Yeah.
It's cool as hell. I don't care why. It's so cool,
Matthew Amsterdam.
That's like being named Johnny Philadelphia or something.
Right?
Yeah, that's like being named Paul Hollywood. Like, what the fuck?
Like, you have to be on TV with that name.
Yeah. Also, that's someone who definitely like sells weed, right? Matt Amsterdam is definitely like a weed dealer.
Oh, there's only 2 tracks for someone named Matt Amsterdam. Television or weed dealer for sure.
So, okay.
Let's unpack this cover here real quick.
Yeah, this is a great cover.
As soon as I saw that cover, I was like, there is no way any of that is happening.
No, there's not going to be a cool monster hand, and the demon storm that's happening outside also probably not happening.
Wait. I'm looking back at the cover. I got a demon storm.
That's purple lightning happening out there. That's not a normal storm.
Oh yeah, that's dark magic. That's Magus from Chrono Trigger out there.
Yes.
Doing some...
Oh yeah. There's some. Well, listen, that might be another dimension where the lightning's purple, or maybe another dimension where you're just fat.
Right. He's fucking right.
I like to think that giant hand doesn't belong to a body, but it's got like 2 stubby legs.
That's
like,
cool.
Below it,
yeah.
up the arm. and he's just like a big furry hand monster.
Ooh, I love that.
And there's a lot of like little like bulb bubble things on the palm that could definitely be eyes. Like those could like turn and start looking in different directions and stuff.
We just got a mid blink.
Listen, you guys are making a creepier character than anything that's in this book. This is the most I've ever felt that Tim Jacobus did the cover without knowing what the book was about. Yeah, because RL hadn't written it yet.
And we should say this is not a scary Goosebumps book. This is a Twilight Zone Goosebumps book.
Right.
So
okay, well, yeah, it's a Twilight Zone, and I was also like, it's a goddamn Star Trek, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
At some point, because they start this book off, Matt being a big Star Trek fan, which I clocked.
Here's my theory about this book. I clocked that too. Here's my theory to piggyback into that, Chad. I think that Matthew Amsterdam died, and this entire book is his DMT trip as his brain shuts down, and he is just cycling through the many things that Matt Amsterdam likes.
That makes a lot more sense to me. So this is just his moments, his lives are flashing before his eyes.
Yes, many things that make up Matt Amsterdam are being revealed to him.
I like that.
So this book does also hit on like kind of a real fear of mine, which is breaks in consciousness. So like the hook of this book, if I can just spoil it now.
Yeah, go for it. It doesn't take long to get there.
Yeah. The hook of this book is every time this kid goes to sleep, he wakes up in a different reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this the teleporter problem where like what is a teleporter but a thing that like vaporizes every atom of you
and then reconstitutes him.
Yeah, so is a teleporter just like a suicide machine?
Now that's Star Trek as hell. That is very Star Trek.
Yes. Yeah, wasn't Barclay of Star Trek, at least of the Next Generation, he's afraid of that. He doesn't want to do the transporter because he's afraid that it's essentially killing him and reconstituting him, right?
Right, which by all our understanding of how people work, yes, that is what it's doing. And the scary part about that is there's just a break in consciousness. Like you're destroyed for the 2 seconds it takes to teleport you. But we experience breaks in consciousness every night when we go to sleep. So,
yo, Kevin, I legit have this weird, it's not a crazy fear that I legit have all the time, but I've thought about it and I'm always like, what if somehow in your life you just had a moment where like you blinked or you went to sleep and suddenly you woke up and it was 20 years later, and like, and that's essentially what like going into a coma is, right? Like, what if that happened to you? How terrifying would it be if just suddenly, all of a sudden, like 20 years of your life were just gone? You're just like, what the fuck?
If it was when you blinked, if it was that fast too, I think particularly that'd be more than waking up in bed feels like the best way to find out you're in a new reality.
Right, right. Yes, at least you're comfortable.
You're like, oh yeah, the days, the sun's against my face, and I get to have some
a comfy early morning terror. Yeah.
Apart from your memories, you basically are in a new reality. Like it's indistinguishable from anything else.
Dropping more knowledge on this show.
I really hope. I really wanted. Maybe someone can do a Photoshop edit, but I really wanted the subtitle to be. I don't sleep because sleep is the cousin of death.
Hell yeah. Fucking hell yeah. Throw some Nas
in there. As opposed to rise and shine forever. Sure. Thank you.
That's not really. That doesn't really have anything to do with.
Yeah, I'll shine on like a diamond all the fucking want. Thank you.
I'm gonna get to keep getting up in the morning forever. Sure, sounds great, RL.
So Matthew Amsterdam's life sucks.
Fucking really bad.
Yeah, he is like abusive family. Like
his dad is dead.
His dad is dead, and that's how he likes it, I guess.
He gets really upset later when he accidentally gets a dad. He gets so upset about it.
He was so mad about it. He was so mad about it. Also, he was mad about like, well, this new mom's trying to give me kisses.
That was weird too.
She hasn't earned it yet, or what? I was like, just roll with it.
His dog tries to bite his face off constantly.
I want to bring that out for a second. Just sorry, that detail about the dachshund named Biggie, ironically. He says how Biggie likes everyone in the family but him,
right?
And that they put Biggie on his bed while he's trying to sleep, and Biggie goes for his face. I don't think Biggie was trying to bite him. I think Biggie just wanted to lick his nose. Also,
I think so too.
Aww.
I think if Biggie was doing anything to him, I think he did something to Biggie.
Yeah, I trust Biggie more than I do Matt. If Biggie likes everyone else in the house, Dachshunds are the sweetest goddamn dogs I've ever met. Like they're just little tiny sad sausages who just want to be held. If they don't like Matt, something's wrong with Matt.
Something's wrong with Matt.
You know, I'm no dog apologist, but I do agree Matt pulled some shit, and he's not ready to admit it.
I'm not convinced that Matt isn't also responsible for his father's death.
Like, I can't stress enough to people who did not read this book listening to this. It is just dropped, like, Matt he does the RL basic of, like, my name's Matt. I like to wear red shirts.
RL gets a little creative and maybe a little self-aware with how he describes what Matt looks like, too. He has his brother doing a sort of, like, wildlife show narration throughout the beginning.
Yes, which was very charming. I was fine with that.
That was a fun shtick. That's a fun way to do a really boring thing.
Yep.
Like, good for you,
Yeah,
RL.
I like that. It was good.
He's doing the, like, he, like, the brother is reading it. I assumed it was a, what was that toy?
Talk Boy. It was definitely a Talk Boy,
right?
Absolutely.
What Home Alone 2 had and every kid wanted.
Yep.
For my generation, it would be a Yak Back, I believe.
Oh, the Yak Back too.
Yak Back?
That was like the Nickelodeon one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I believe it was basically just a Talk Boy that was rebooted, but... we had
this is like, hey, can we take a Talk Boy and make it less technical?
Yeah.
We have the technology to make the Talk Boy look cool now.
It's gonna look like just like a piece of pud on the ground.
Pud. What is pud, real quick?
What is pud?
I need to know what pud is. Is it jizz?
I didn't want to ask because I didn't know either. What is pud?
Now I don't know. I just thought pud was like a short name for either like pudding or like your ball sack.
It is a short name for pudding.
Like a Christmas pud.
Like a man's, a male genitalia.
My
Called
pud.
Like a pud. Yeah, like you're pulling on your pud.
Okay, he's right. Which is why I think I went to jizz immediately.
Yeah. I kind of like, was it Greg? What's the older brother?
Yes.
Yeah, Greg.
Like, I had this moment where I was like, whereas when Greg would leave the scene, Matt was like, leave me alone. Stop making fun of me for reading Star Trek, watching Star Trek. I was like, no, take me with you, Greg. Greg's cooler. Like, let me be with Greg.
Greg is cooler, and Greg has more of a personality. Everyone else has more of a personality than Matthew Amsterdam does, despite the cool name.
Right. Matthew Amsterdam's mettle is tested on several accounts, and he fails every time.
In Matthew Amsterdam's odyssey of his life, he fails at every test.
Matthew is also a bit of a hoarder, I just want to call it. I don't want to shame too much, but like Matthew explains his bedroom packed with like comics.
Yes.
And he said a life-size Klingon cutout board that was in his closet. That means he's like stepping over like boxes of everything, and he really wants to move into the guest room.
Yep.
To have more space when he could just like donate some of that stuff, Matt. You know.
Yeah. His breaking point is when he has to make dinner for his family because his mom works 2 jobs to feed 3 kids.
Ostensibly, so that he can continue to hoard and buy new things for his little tiny room.
And this kid's Star Trek addiction and he keeps biting into the food money. So he makes tuna casserole and everyone just rips on him for being a piece of shit geek.
Yep.
And he runs away up to his room and he sneaks out in the middle of the night and decides, I'm going to sleep in the guest room like I wanted.
His big rebellion.
Do you guys ever have a guest room like growing up?
God, no.
No, I had too many siblings, sadly.
See,
Sadly, as if I hate my siblings. Whoops.
What I would give to have just an extra room.
If only I could have had a reality hole, but instead I had a sister.
I was, maybe this is me saying, I was lucky enough to have a guest room in my house in Indiana. And that was a room that no one used but my mom. That was it becomes like the way a dad gets like a rec room. I feel like was how a mom gets the guest room, at least in my house.
It becomes the craft room. It becomes the craft room, Kevin.
It's a little bit of the craft room. It's a little bit of the precious moments, like Hummel figurine storage. But it is a very nice room for, I guess, like if the Queen of England is coming by, and she needs a place to stay, that guest room is for them.
Yes.
And it was a cultural thing that they had learned, and it was just this waste of space.
I do need to clarify, love my siblings. Just want to throw that out there. Love all of them.
Boy, one of those guest rooms sure would have been nice, though. Oh. I just want to point out this detail about it because I was already not following Matt's motivation. I get that he wants more space.
Mm-hmm.
But like when he's like, oh, I'm going to go sleep in that guest room. I'm like, you mean the room with the scratchy blanket that's not comfortable?
Yes.
And like,
yes.
And the stuffed teddy bears that are just going to look at you all night? No, get out of that fucking room.
So he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep in the guest room, right?
Goes to sleep in the guest room, which has been mentioned that I think this is an important detail we'll bring up, that room is reserved for grandma and grandpa when they come by to visit once a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important considering what happens. But
okay.
Yes. A revelation later, we should dog ear that grandma grandpa thing because a revelation later throws that into chaos.
Oh,
chaos,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
But Matt wakes up and he's in the living room, in the guest room. His feet are too long.
Mm-hmm.
And he has discovered very quickly by running to the mirror and then downstairs that he has become a teenager and his siblings have become children.
They got young.
Like younger kids. Mm-hmm. But he still has his mother and he still has to go to school.
Yes.
But he has to go to high school.
High school.
Which is scary.
Were you guys nervous about going to high school?
I could not fucking wait. Get
really?
me out of middle school, I thought, all of the time.
I don't know. Every time I had to transition, you get to be the little fish again. It stinks.
Yeah, but that's like the last time. Well, then college rolls around and no one gives a shit about
And then life is constantly little fish.
Oh, no, you're...
That's maybe too real, Paul.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did not get this sense of fear. I was like, he should have been like, fuck yeah. Isn't this what like fantasy movies are about? Like I become a teenager now and I get to play in the basketball team and kiss the prom queen.
Here's the thing. Matthew's a fucking dork and he doesn't think about the fact that he is strong and large now. He thinks about how he doesn't know how to do math and he gets scared about that.
True.
And I guess, like, one thing I couldn't help but notice is that every girl smiles at him, so he may have a little more going on.
Yeah, maybe he can't. Maybe in this reality, he's not that bad.
Yeah, maybe he's. Okay.
Well, he does imply like murder a girl at volleyball.
Oh yeah. He meets the parents as the girl in the face for sure.
Which I liked that the gym teacher. Yeah, so he hits a girl, presumably on his own team, in the face with a volleyball. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's the other team, and the gym teacher just goes, "You're just picking off your competition one by one, aren't you?" Like, was like, "Whoa, gym teacher just escalated." Like,
hit the showers.
Yeah, hit the showers. Like, this probably happens a lot in gym class.
This reality was stressful for me.
This reality was the dream where you're like in the dream and you're like, oh no, I missed the entire semester of college and I have to do the exam today. That was what this section was.
Yeah, I don't have enough credits because I didn't do my psychology extracurricular.
Yep. Whoops, just forgot that. Yep.
I guess that's probably most apparent in he goes to school. He doesn't really question it too much. He sits down and suddenly he's in like English class where they're reading Anna Karenina, a book that I never read. I don't know
oh God,
not in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Matt and RL were just being really mean to Anna Karenina. He's like, oh, these sentences are so long. There's so many pages. And I just couldn't help but feel like RL was going like, can you imagine a book more than 100 pages long?
Yeah. I think he was having fun with the 12-year-old perspective.
He probably was.
I bet like since that's a weird pick for a high school or like for like a high school book to read. I bet like RL is super big into the dead Russian authors. And
it's part of his Dostoevsky canon, right?
Yeah. He's got like a Dost shirt on most of the time.
Sure. Yeah, because that would make more sense because it was really dismissive. He was like, I don't know, just some girly book about princesses or something. For a 12-year-old, maybe that's making more sense than how RL feels about them.
Right.
I mean, I'm an English major, and that is at least a little bit how I felt about a lot of my literature classes. There are a few books that are just I never want to have to read again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with you there.
Makes a lot of sense. So this section in this first, we don't know it's a reality yet. We think maybe it's a bad dream. He transformed.
It's good that he kind of hits on this bad dream sort of thing because it creates a lot of doubt as to where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm. I see. The whole time I was imagining that if he went to sleep again, he was going to cycle time forward further, right? And it was going to be like a scary loss of control as you hurdle towards a book.
Yeah, he's racing to get back home to get into bed and do it again. I'm like, you need to be careful.
You don't know what? Yes.
Yeah, you can't necessarily go back. You might be time jumping further. You got to slow down. He just keeps hitting them bed sheets over and over.
You did not read the title of this book, main character.
Actually, the main part of this book is go to sleep as fast as you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This book is the opposite of Don't Go to Sleep. It is the opposite of Nightmare on Elm Street, the problem where you want to try and stay awake constantly. This book, the solution to every problem is go to fuck to sleep.
Go to sleep. Find a bed.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I wanted to call out one scene in this first reality jump where some red alarms were going off where he runs into Lucy, I believe is her name. She's a girl at school.
Oh, I think Lacey? Is it Lacey?
Lacey? Maybe it's Lacey. Thank you.
Yeah,
Lacey.
Yeah.
So he runs into Lacey outside the high school.
Right.
And they have all of the beats of a meet cute of like dropping their books and all that sort of stuff. Yes. And he's like, she's so pretty and she's smiling at me. But I was like, wait, you are 18 now. She is 12.
And she's 12. I thought about that too, Chad. I thought that was like, really messed up.
He was like talking about how cute she was. I was like, stop it. You can't do this.
I know you have the mind of a 12-year-old, but you gotta realize that you're in a situation here, Matthew Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The law will not recognize that.
No. It reminded me of this great joke in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 where they do a fake movie with James Van Der Beek.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl that plays Sabrina on Netflix, Kiernan, whatever her name is.
Kiernan Shipka,
yeah, and they're both signed up for a Freaky Friday movie that's never been done before, the daddy-daughter swip.
Oh no.
And it's like, and they're both like, yeah, this will be a challenge, and they like match off each other, and then it's not until the end of the episode that you see them shooting scenes from it that they realize that is completely fucked up. Of like all of the dynamics of like, well, I didn't like kissing mommy, and like all this like, oh no, we gotta wrap this up. This is bad. Those were the alarms that were going off as Matt's having a meet cute with Lacey.
But little did we know that Lacey is getting her hooks in because she is part of the antagonist of this book, or what we could assume would be the antagonist. He also runs into a bully at the beginning, which it's not super clear the bully's part of that antagonist group either.
Right.
So he runs into Lacey. There's that, like you said, awkward meet cute, which should not be. Although we don't know Lacey's age, her true age, right?
Oh God, she might be a 90-year-old woman. As far as we
know, we don't know what the reality police are like, actually. So,
oh shit! Now we gotta talk about how Lacey's a cop.
She's a reality cop.
It was a sting. It was a sting the whole time.
I'm saying she's stinging him. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on here, guys.
Yeah.
So they get out. He gets out of it. He decides to go home, right, and go to sleep. Basically, he's gonna put his worries behind him and just get in bed and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll skip right into the next one. He wakes up and he's got a dad. Real dark. He's got to deal with dad.
Oh yeah. This is the Oops Wrong Family universe.
Yeah.
He's the only child now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, you wouldn't like having other kids, Matt. You're
they
selfish.
Got a cat.
Or you want too many things. You have a cat. Cats
What's
are
the
great.
cat's name? The cat had like kind of a funny name if I remember correctly. I want to say Panel or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't write down the cat's name because I knew this would be a transient sort of thing.
Right.
I'm like, from this point on, I'm like, I'm not bothering to learn anyone's name.
Yeah, well, that's why I stopped taking notes. It's like none of this matters anymore if we're just resetting the book every chapter.
Right.
But this I just want to call it. This is different though than like say Run Lola Run or Live Die Repeat. Like any of these stories where that's like they got me. It's called Edge of Tomorrow. They got me. I'm not calling the movie Live Die Repeat. Sorry. They renamed it because of poor
Yeah.
Like those stories can be amazing when you do resets because the character's learning from it. They're literal roguelikes, right?
Right.
Yeah, and Matt is doing none of this. He is just like, well, woke up, let's just go see what's going on.
Right, that's a problem because Matt learns no lessons from any of this.
Yeah, he like the one lesson he could probably take from this is play it cool.
Like true. And maybe that was his problem all along, and why Pam and Greg picked on him was because he could not be cool. Just be cool, man.
Yeah.
Just walk downstairs like, hello,
family,
and have them let you know what your role is.
Right. I love it because in this one, his dad thinks his son is a weirdo. He says, "I knew he was going to get weird, but I didn't think he was going to get this weird." And then he takes him to school in his really fancy car, drops him off, and he sees Lacey right away. And Lacey tells him this weird dystopian shit about this school, and it's that they're so packed with kids that some of the kids have to have lunch at 8:30 in the morning.
I mean, that makes total sense when you consider the state of public schooling in America.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, shit. Also, with all these goddamn Quiver families having too many kids.
Oh my God, it's the Quiver families. They did it.
The Quiver families, they did it. Yeah, I went to a school that had 3 lunch periods. But,
okay, yeah.
But I know. And we got to have all 3 of them. No,
there was first course, there was second course.
I was going to say, did you go to Hobbit High School?
What about thirds, Bosco sticks? And that was what, like 11 noon
to like 12:30,
yeah, lunch or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it sucked because you're like, well, my best friend's in lunch A, and I can't get to eat with them because I'm in lunch B. Lunch at 8:30 is insane.
It's crazy. And Matt lies and says he has it too, and then he says, or maybe it wasn't a lie. What did I know? I had no idea what was going on anymore. School was beginning to seem like a lot more trouble than it was worth. And
what is truth anyway, says Matt.
He's already getting hella existential, and it's only reality too.
Yeah.
He's like, I could just kill you all right now, and he just stabs a knife into Lacey. None of this will matter.
Yeah, he just starts the bloodbath, and he slowly puts on a sleeping cap and
just goes to bed in the pile of blood.
Just goes to bed. Reset. That's probably what the time police were trying to prevent. Like, they were probably there to be like, eventually everyone goes full bloodbath.
Yeah, murder hobo. Everyone goes murder hobo eventually.
I was very curious what their stakes were, because I think we can just, like, the majority of this book now is just Matt racing to a bed of any sort.
Right.
To sleep and reset and just roll the dice and see what comes up next. But like every time he's had multiple interactions with Lacey and these 2. It's weird that he didn't call them men in black, but men dressed in black.
Yes, they are men in black.
Okay, but he didn't say if they're wearing suits or not. Like, are they?
They're also boys, so they're more boys in black or BiBs.
And who never say anything. They just run and go like, "Get him!" And then he runs away, and he gets into a bed, and they're like, "Shit, we lost him!" And then he gets to jump to another reality.
Right.
Did anyone else picture Bulk and Skull? Because I pictured Bulk and Skull.
But now I am. Yeah.
Without a doubt, they were some good high school doofuses.
Because they're described in the most generic bully way possible.
Yeah.
Like, they have ripped sleeves and, like, I don't know, maybe they're wearing denim and there's a skull on there somewhere. And
for someone who likes to, RL loves to describe the clothes that his main characters wear. This is one time I was like, I would like to know a little bit more about these 2 figures that are running at Matt all the time, please.
Right, the main antagonist of this book.
Yeah, there were none to be had. It was just boys
men and boys.
Black. Yeah, BiBs running at you.
And much like a cop, first it starts with vague threats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no due process here. Like, the kid's like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and he's like, what? There's no, excuse me, sir, you're in violation of reality code number 378.
Well, it's not until reality number 9 that they go, we're trying to help you. After they had fired a net gun at him, and like,
right. They don't read him his reality Miranda rights right off the bat, right? They go right for the taser.
All of this happens after, by the way, that Matt jumps to another reality and is in the goddamn circus.
He just goes right to circus. What's that all about?
Oh yeah. So he's chased off by Bulk and Skull, and then he wakes up in circus dimension.
Like a loving family, right? He's like, there's this thing where like he woke up and his dad's wearing he described it like a Santa Claus outfit. I was like, is his dad fucking Santa Claus?
He said his dad sounds like evil Santa too.
Evil Santa Claus. And they're like, have some breakfast, Matt. We love you. And then Matt goes, there's like a text, maybe you have the same somewhere. It was like, my dad looked like a goddamn idiot. I feel like it's one of the texts.
I'm not so sure about loving as far as exploitative.
Right, because they end breakfast and his dad cracks a whip and is like, get in the car, kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, you all know how carnies live in houses and then drive to the circus?
I mean, gotta have that work-life balance, I guess.
They just crammed in the car. Mom drove 90 miles per hour.
Yeah, Mom
to her job at the circus.
It goes from 0 to 60 real fast with this insanity. Like, it goes from two normal-ish realities to just straight up, circus realm.
Yeah, and his dad throws him in a cage when they get to the circus. He is thrown into a cage with a lion, where his father says, "Today you ride the lion."
Hercules, right?
Hercules.
And then cracks a whip again. Yeah, he cracks the whip. He says, get on Hercules' back.
I was kind of on the dad's side in this part of the story. I don't know. Maybe maybe the whip cracks seemed more fun to me, and maybe I.
Please unpack this. You were really good. You're picking up kind of like a zany, like a kooky dad vibe.
Yeah, I was picking up like a nice, this is a fun circus dad, a family that all love each other. Like, look how nice. They're like, look how nice Matt looks like in his superhero suit that they clearly made for him.
Chad, you know what? In your defense, at least this dad didn't go and up and die on Matt in this dimension. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is a sturdy dad. This is a load-bearing dad. Now it's like some weak-ass dead dad.
Yeah. I assume in this reality, Matt has been with the other Matt whose body he took, right? This is a whole, moral conundrum.
Right.
Is he slidersing into people?
Mm-hmm. Is he displacing his other selves into the reality he's swapping out?
Yeah, they don't even talk about that. But like that version of Circus Dad, his dad knows how to, take care of that lion. Now, are we going to talk about the moral quandary of how our circus is just bad at this point? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally. I mean, Chad, you seem to cut Circus Dad a lot of slack at the beginning here for some reason.
Because he gave him a good morning and then he got a nice breakfast. What's wrong with Circus Dad?
He's right. He did start the day off right for him.
I'm not sure if breakfast makes up for the sins of Circus Dad. I think he's exploiting his kids and also participating in some animal cruelty for a quick buck.
For money.
You might be right.
And I think he's quivering, dude. I think he's a quiverer.
You think so? He just said there's like 6 kids and they barely have enough food.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But instead of God, he's like making them for circus. He's making them for capitalism, aka circus God.
Oh my God! The money is his God in this reality.
Okay, you know what? I'm pro the lion in the cage. That was a nice lion.
We do find out that Hercules is a nice lion.
Yeah, Herc rules. He just wants to leave. Let him leave. Let him go.
Because we find this out because Matt runs away from the Hercules cage. Tells Dad, "I'm over this. I'm not going to ride the lion today, Dad. I'm out."
Yeah.
And in this case, Matt stands up for himself, which I like.
Right.
He runs away, runs into Lacey again, and the 2 bullies show up. And in some, this is where it starts to get, Lynchian in its surreality. He's, becoming new people, and, the same, archetypes of people are showing up and tormenting him. So he runs back to the cage, jumps in, gets himself between Hercules and the bullies, the Bulks and Skull, the BiBs.
Yeah.
And 6 Hercules. Hercules listens and scares them off, and then runs, and then nopes the hell out of there.
Does he free Hercules at the end? Does he let him out of the cage?
No, Hercules is still caged.
He should have done that. He should have freed Hercules.
I know.
Let Hercules go. Take him back to Africa or wherever he wants to go. Give Hercules a jet. Let him decide where he goes.
By this point in the circus dimension reality, and I should clarify, these are all Earth realities, it seems like, because he'll in some of them, he would have called his uncle and his uncle's number. And he's like, "There's no one who lives by here." So everything's just shuffling, right?
Right.
He's just hitting randomizer on the character creator.
Yeah.
There are some parameters. There's a mild parameter set, right, where it can't get too crazy.
There's always a Matt. There's always a Lacey, and there's always a lighthouse.
There's always a lighthouse. I knew it. God damn it.
Fuck.
Chad, now that I know that you like that, I'm going to be slipping in little references.
Listen, when they time travel to warp to Rapture and suddenly Songbird is in the water and dying from the pressure, my fucking heart
It was cool. It was a cool moment, Chad. I'm with you on that.
Fucking rad. Anyway, We're not going to go on Chad's Bioshock Infinite Apology tour right now.
Your video essay will be on Chad and Kevin Pyre Only, the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, it will.
Shit, did I just reveal Chad and Kevin Pyre Only to the world?
Yeah, Chad and Kevin Pyre Only. We said on a podcast, so it's going to happen.
Have we not announced our plan that we've talked about for 2 years to only do a Pyre Only Let's Play channel?
Yeah, and simultaneously do things that aren't Pyre.
That's a new wrinkle, honestly. I was set to be committed to only ever playing Pyre. You know, that the least popular Supergiant game that is hard for people to get into.
But it's so good.
It's so good.
It's the best.
You guys are setting yourselves up for success with this one.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So he goes to sleep in the circus, I guess? He just
I guess. Yeah, what does he do? He runs to a random room and goes to sleep, right?
So there's a quote in here that I really like.
Okay.
And I think this is sort of resonant with the times, with the living through difficult historical times.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to relax when you don't know what kind of world you'll wake up to in the morning.
Damn.
That's really true right about now in 2021.
That is 2020 as hell. Put that embroider that macrame that onto a blanket for me.
and have it be given to quote to Matt, that kid from the Goosebumps book.
And there's like a really sweet thing underneath it where he can't go to sleep, so he tries to think of good things that can happen, which is a really good anxiety technique. And if I'm thinking about RL as like an anxious kind of weird person, that's probably a technique that he's used to get to sleep because he's too anxious to sleep.
Damn.
So maybe this humanizes RL in a way that I'm uncomfortable with, because he's written some interesting things.
It's funny that you bring that up because, and this, I wrote this down for the next section, which we can talk about in a second. I do think it's really interesting that it is a reverse Nightmare on Elm Street, because staying awake, right, in Nightmare on Elm Street is the challenge, right? It's like the impossible challenge. You have to go to sleep eventually, and that's where the doom is. And this is to avoid the doom, you have to go to sleep. And there's a point where he has to go to sleep, but he's so fucking worked up that he can't, that I was like, oh my God, I relate to this. Oh
that's
my God,
that's a very good actual stake, right?
Yeah,
I need to fall asleep right now. They're going to get me. And that just fulfills itself in a self-perpetuating cycle.
Yes, that was cool. That was a great moment. But then he just falls asleep because apparently this kid is a fucking champion at falling asleep.
It did bring up to the point where, I think, and by the way, in this point of the book, Lacey has revealed herself as a sleeper agent, or whatever.
Sick! You just stumbled into it. Did you write that one down? Did you have that one in your notes?
But she and oh God, can we talk about the fucking names of these two men in black?
Bruce and Wayne?
Bruce and Wayne. Shut the fuck up, RL.
What? I don't get it. I don't participate in pop culture. What's so weird about that?
Multiple times he wrote just the phrase Bruce and Wayne were talking. Like he's not even trying to hide it. I don't know. It made me mad.
So to be clear, we're skipping over Abe Vigoda Dimension and Monster
Oh my
Dimension.
God, Abe Vigoda Dimension was the best because he wakes up as an old man and is like, nope, I'm out of here. And then goes to sleep instantly, wakes up and is a horrible monster and is like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, well, the monster one, yeah, okay, I forgot the monster one happened to this point already. The monster one, he wakes up in a house, which I thought was strange. And then he's like, well, there's no one in this house, thank God. And then he just goes out into the street and starts eating people's cars.
He starts kaijuing instantly.
He's like, he can understand that when he tries to talk, out comes a roar.
Right.
And then he does nothing to make that better other than just yelling at people and deciding to eat their cars.
So my college creative writing class writing advice that I give to fucking everybody is involve the senses. I really like that he describes the taste of the car and stuff like that.
That was cool. That the stuff that's inside of a car seat tastes like dry popcorn. I was like, that seems right. Yeah. That seems really right to me. Actually.
Yeah. And later he's like, I could go for a couple of bicycles right now. That's funny. That's good. That's good humor.
He brought it back. He brought it back around. Talking about writing advice, I do think that this book follows a famous Kurt Vonnegut piece of writing advice, which is make your main character go through hell. And this kid This kid goes through hell in this book.
There's no safe harbor for him. His original reality is awful.
Mm-hmm. But also, he doesn't seem to want to enjoy. Like, I think that second or third one where he had a dad with a cool car and he's in high school and he's got a cat. Like,
should have stuck with it.
Stay there, man.
Chad just wants a dad, a reality with a dad.
Yeah, right? That should be a net positive. He doesn't like any other part of his other life, his previous one.
Yeah, he was on top of the kid pyramid in both of those realities. One, he was the only kid, but the animal was his friend. Oh, also, just remembered in the circus reality, it opens up with a monkey attack.
Yeah,
and
the
it was
monkey
incredible.
attacks. Yeah.
I just remembered that we needed to make
because the monkey knows he's not supposed to be there. The monkey's
That's
like,
right. The animal sense
you're not natural.
Oh, the animal senses his non-naturalness. Oh my god!
So maybe it was the point when the dimension cops they chase after Kaiju Matt.
Yeah, in the host dimension where Matt becomes the monster from the host.
It's very much the host, much more how everyone just kind of like freaks out and runs away and a crowd gathers.
Right.
So he's in like Slimeosaurus Rex mode.
Yes.
as the monster. That's kind of how I pictured it, just a slimy T-Rex or something.
Yeah, goopy T-Rex. Yep.
Maybe like Pete's Dragon kind of style or something. Something kind of cute, mostly gross.
Pudrex.
Pudrex. Yeah. His balls just hanging out of his furry scales, just swinging low.
Hey man, nature doesn't have no pants.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Yeah. And he's also not like ever like, this is rad. He's immediately, I don't know. I think I'd be kind of to beat a dinosaur for a day.
Yeah, he's just hungry.
So he eats a car and everyone's freaking out because there's a monster that eats cars. And I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
He's not really causing too much havoc. He's just, dismantling capitalism, I guess, a little bit. But then Lacey shows up and he's like, oh, Lacey, the one person I can trust. Sweet, kind Lacey. You'll never betray me.
And then Lacey says, guess what? I was a fed the whole time. I've been working your ass.
And she says, kiss the ground, freak show.
She says they're called not time cops, they're reality cops.
Reality police.
Reality police. Yeah. Cops is derogatory, Chad.
Yeah, you're right.
You shouldn't
Sorry.
call them a cop.
Sorry.
You shouldn't call a cop a cop or a pig or whatever.
Service woman. A reality service woman.
Officer Lacey and her goons.
Bruce and Wayne.
Fucking Bruce and Wayne.
God damn it.
They throw a net over him, which I guess is his one weakness as a monster.
Net.
Okay, yes. This net needs to be something important because he says it was some sort of like metal type material that he couldn't chew through, and it holds him to the ground. And this net seems to break the rules of what the curse was, and that
it's mithril, to be sure.
It's mithril. It's the finest mithril. Like, because he goes to sleep this time as
inside
he
of it, right?
He goes to sleep in the net, in the cage, and then wakes up back in the cage and net, which has not been how any of this has been.
Right, and so this is the point where I thought it would have been cool if they kept the realities like slightly more tethered, right? Where every time he wakes up in a new scenario, some minor things have changed, but he's still there. Like it would have been cool if he woke up as the squirrel and
that's right, he was a fucking squirrel.
Right, he wakes up as a squirrel, and I think he is in the same reality, right? Every one of them should have been like that.
But no, it's all over the place. Like, yeah, he becomes, after a couple jumps, suddenly his house doesn't exist, his family doesn't exist, which would imply that it's fragmenting more.
I guess it's getting crazier and crazier, right?
But then he goes back to squirrel, and suddenly his family's back.
There was an interesting detail about about his new parents' dimension, too, in that he said the neighborhood looked different, but his house was the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, he doesn't move around in space.
Right.
But when he goes to a new reality, it's mostly the same. So it must have been like a situation where, due to certain events, like the zoning was different in his neighborhood or something like that.
Yeah.
And
at some point, he changed events in a reality that a circus took over
his
neighborhood. This is the Back to the Future where Twin Pines Mall becomes Lone Pine Mall or whatever. Right. Like, he has affected it somehow. And then at some point, when he got captured, it was still a prison around him. Which, fine, I guess. I thought that seemed a little unfair, but whatever.
Some reality dampening material is a part of that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you know what this book book reminded me fucking of? Do you guys ever see the movie Jumper? Jumper. Looper? No, Jumper.
No. Jumper is the movie by the guy that did hold on, Jumper.
Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson, and he can Nightcrawler. It's about Nightcrawlers.
It's a Nightcrawlers movie.
I'm sorry. All I can think of is Jim Carrey singing Jumper in Yes Man. That's the only.
That's not a reference. I never saw all of Yes Man. When I saw someone asked me if I wanted to see Yes Man, I said no, sir.
You know, man, Yes Man.
I said no, man, to Yes Man.
You stood up to Yes Man.
I said Zooey Deschanel seems a little too young to be your romantic interest, sir. I am going to skip on that.
That is fair. That is fair.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
Does he sing it at karaoke?
No, there's a person who's literally about to kill himself.
Oh, God.
It's actually the guy from Paul, the movie we watched together.
Magnolia? No, Magnolia. Punch Drunk Love. Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love. It's his friend with the beard.
Oh, Luis Guzman.
Oh, yes, Luis Guzman. He saves Luis Guzman. That's nice.
Luis Guzman's about to jump to his death, and Jim Carrey sprints up the stairs, notices there's a guitar in the room, and when he tries to like talk the dude down, he's like not having it, so he grabs the guitar and starts playing Jumper. So that's what I'm thinking of. That's what happens in this book.
So I was picturing the movie Jumper, a movie I think about way too much for how not that good it was.
It was the same director as Live, Die, Repeat.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. AKA Edge of Tomorrow, as people call it.
AKA Emily Blunt has got the best biceps you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, she's jacked.
Yeah, she does that slow push-up on the way. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyway. Mm-hmm. So Jumper, right, had like this made up kind of stuff of like whatever Samuel L. Jackson, they're probably called the Templars. Like they have their own tools and devices to combat jumpers, and one was like a harpoon net that you then planted into the ground to keep you from being able to teleport jump. Because if you didn't, you'd go get a double-decker bus and bring it to him to fight you.
Was this a Disney movie?
No, no. Jumper was like, I'm going to guess like some studio that's no longer around.
I feel like there's a made-for-TV Disney movie that was about time or something like that had similar.
Oh, maybe. It has a very feel to it. Listen, I love to talk to people about Jumper. That movie's fucking crazy. But like that made-up society of we're from an endless fraternity that hunts jumpers. Why? Because we gotta. You know what I mean? Like we just gotta do it.
I love that you wrapped it around and brought a quote from The Mask back in, and now we have Jim Carrey. Why? Because I gotta. I love that just circled back around on itself.
This is like a Mandelbrot set of fucking references. Like it's an infinitely repeating pattern.
We're fractaling.
Of us finding a way to not talk about the weird way this book winds down.
My brain's already thinking about how this reminded me of a certain episode of Community in which Luis Guzman is the mascot of, because they have a statue of him in.
Oh my God. It's all connected.
Are
we dead? Are we dead and having a DMT trip right now?
So anyway, I think the BiBs and Lacey have some sort of jumper tech to stop him to hold him in space, is what I think what that net did, because it's the only way that made
I have to agree with you. It's the only way that it makes sense there. Which I wish those rules applied to it all the time, because it would have been fun for him to keep going to sleep and waking up and like basically like character creation random generator button hitting. You know what I mean?
I'd watch a whole 80s TV show about a boy who can jump into new bodies and there's people chasing him.
That's cool.
That sounds great. So he then becomes a squirrel, right? No, yeah, he goes to sleep.
Okay. Before he becomes a squirrel, the cops start acting like cops and say the only solution is to fucking murder.
Dude, I love it. I love it because Matt says to the cops, "Well, make it stop." I demanded, "I'll stop you." The tall guy.
It wasn't a threat. It was genuine plea for help.
Oh man!
They're gonna feed him a sleeping potion made of arsenic and cyanide.
Mm-hmm. Did they even say that's what's in it? I thought it was literally just like a potion with a skull on it that said like sleepy time tea.
It was definitely like a deadly sleepy time tea without
deadly
a doubt.
Sleepy time. And also like make sure he drinks the whole thing. If he doesn't drink all of it, he won't die. I'm like, this doesn't seem like this is very good potion, guys.
Yeah, like, are they from a reality that doesn't have fucking Glocks? Like, there's a better way to do. Like, we don't know what's being left in his wake. Is the thing. Like,
oh yeah, that's true. In each reality,
yeah, is there like a gaping hole in reality just flapping in the winds of time? Like, what's happening?
Oh, we've completely skipped over. I forgot what Lacey tells him in that. Oh, it turns out your parents' guest room had a time portal, a reality portal hole in it.
A reality hole. That's right.
Reality hole. Yeah. You just fell in it when you went to sleep.
So did Grandma and Grandpa fall?
Where are they at? What's been going on with them?
Is that what happened to Dad?
There's like a custodian at the high school that's way too friendly to him, and he's like, I used to be your father. What? Never mind.
Okay, so let's move on to Squirrel Dimension, because he escapes prison by falling asleep.
So the net kept him in space, kept him in the same... Yeah. So he's still in the underground dungeon cage.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's a squirrel, he's able to slip through the bars and get out.
Right. So he goes home, right, as a squirrel, and he's like, I gotta get in my house, and he figures out I gotta be able to go to sleep in my bed. If I go to sleep in my bed, it's gonna, for some reason, it's gonna solve everything.
That is entirely his own assumption without any proof or any inclination from the reality police.
Yeah.
It's a hypothesis and not an informed hypothesis.
Yeah.
The only other way I could think to introduce that element would be like Bruce or Wayne to go, haha, what are you gonna do? Go back in your bed and sleep and reset the reality hole?
That's better than what we got. That's a better fix. Like, he's also already fallen asleep in other places. Like, he's not it's not that he's gone back to the guest room every time. Mm-hmm. He's at least multiple times just fallen asleep in a pile of dirt somewhere.
Although every time he fell asleep, maybe there's a loose connectivity that we don't know about. Every time he's fallen asleep not in the reality hole room, he has turned into a monster or a squirrel.
It's a crazier reality shift, maybe.
yeah, maybe. It distorts his body.
But, like, the cops who say they're trying to help, and they see no solution other than to put you down. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe, let him join the reality police.
They do use the words "put him down," which I think is really funny. Like he's a dog. Like he's a bad dog.
Also remember, like, the cops are 16 and one is 12. Like,
yeah. I really would like to have known a little bit more about, like, who oversees the reality police, what jurisdictions do they have, how often do these crimes come up.
Yeah, I'll take an expo dump for that. Yeah.
I just want to see, like, Lacey, like, suiting up for work as a 12-year-old girl, drinking, like, a cup of the blackest coffee you've ever seen, and, like, nursing a hangover, being like, same shit, different fucking day.
Oh my God. Kevin, I would read the fuck out of that comic book. I would read the hell out of that.
Lacey spinoff, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's cool. And she seems nice, and she's still going to kill a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say there's nothing, like, the stakes were a little weird. They're like, every time you go to sleep, you shift reality. It's not your fault, but we can't get you out of the reality hole.
Right. He brought the hole with him.
Yeah, you're in the hole, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you keep doing this, it'll just be annoying for people. It seemed to be what...
My best guess is that when he, like, falls through a reality hole, there are, like, reality tourists who get to, like, go out for free, and, like, whoever is, like, paying these cops salaries is like, we can't have people jumping realities for free. That's a privilege of the rich.
You gotta pay the big time bucks to be able to reality jump. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they're trying to stop him, because he's creating too much wealth for the lower classes.
God,
unintentionally, but
he
still.
might reality jump to a world where everyone has equal wealth, and that would be the worst.
What if he brings that knowledge back to this world?
What if they get in?
So he's a squirrel.
So now he's a squirrel,
and we're gonna get to Kevin's favorite quote soon. So he finds a way into the house by convincing Pam that he's cute. His sister Pam that he's cute. She wants to bring him in as a pet. And she brings him into the house. Mom says to get rid of the squirrel. She thinks it's disgusting. It could have, quote, rabies or bugs even, which I didn't know what the bugs would be, but okay.
Bugs.
Bugs. Hashtag bugs.
Bugs.
So Pam duplicitously pretends to throw the squirrel outside and then takes Matt Squirrel back upstairs, sticks him in a cage, a hamster cage, and locks him in, and Matt is trapped in a hamster cage.
What are you gonna do, Mom? Get another job about it? Jeez.
And I don't know. He seemed pretty upset about it. It felt like, dude, you're fine. Like, weigh this out. Like, just like you said earlier, Kevin. Like, just play it out a little bit.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Be cool. Either go to sleep there or just wait until she lets you out.
Start like, don't draw too much attention to yourself, but maybe like start dancing a little bit and be like, oh man, that's a cool little squirrel there.
Yeah.
Like, try to win over mom. Maybe like pick like a dandelion and offer it to mom. Like, charm your way into the house.
Yeah, do a happy feet.
Yeah, win him over.
There's no showmanship.
No, not at all.
With
no panache with the squirrel.
Yeah.
So what, does he just like pass out? He just pass out there?
He gets in and he finds that one, he gets fed some nuts, and we get the immortal line, like a moron I sat there gobbling nuts, which I don't know if that's a thing that morons do.
Put that next to the 2020 quote, please.
nuts are healthy for you. It's a good source of protein,
healthy fats and proteins. Yeah,
it's a good snack. So I don't know why RL is making enemies on the nut board,
the nut council.
Well, he's about to make an enemy of a large amount of people in his next reality.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So he gets out because his sister is stupid for leaving the door open, as he says. A real idiot, a real moron for leaving the door open. He's throwing moron around. And he escapes. And then I guess he goes to sleep. He gets outside. He gets knocked outside, right? He has to go out through the window because he can't get into his room. And I think he falls asleep outside, right? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it seemed like it happened very quickly. He just kind of like, now that
he just gives up.
Ew, he goes up a tree and he sleeps outside because he's too weak to open the window to his room.
That's right. That's what happens.
But and keep in mind, RL has no metafiction to bind him to his actions except for his own whims. So he could. He could put Matt into a dimension where windows don't exist, or gravity is upside down, or all of his teeth are marshmallows and they sing.
Horses ride humans, whatever.
Horses ride dogs and cats living together. He can do whatever. He can do whatever he wants to do, and yet his master stroke.
Oh my goodness.
His final dimension of weirdness is everything's the same. Matt's just fat.
And then he has this wonderful quote. I was a very, very chubby boy, a real blimp. What?
I loved so much that in our Discord chat, as we were reading this book, we tried not to spoil, but Kevin, you just sent, I want to find the exact words, but it was...
Oh, fat dimension.
Oh, fat dimension.
Oh, fat dimension.
Oh, fat dimension.
Like, come on, man. Like, I was a chunky kid, and I'm a kind of chunky adult. Like, I've been drinking for quarantine, so it's kind of hard not to be a chunky adult.
As a perpetual fat kid, I can also chime in and say, like, this... It felt very strange that the most obstacle he had was as a fat kid. Like,
right.
He had an easier time as a kaiju being chased down the street than just like chapters worth of, I tried to get up on the windowsill, but my legs were too fat.
He has to run away. He has to run away from the reality cops. And he's like, oh, I wish I wasn't fat.
Oh, I slipped on my bacon. Like, just, it's embarrassing. It's a bad look. Like,
I looked at the trivia and he removed the blimp part from the most recent ebook release.
Oh, did he really?
Yes, that was removed.
That makes it better.
It's also like, regardless of just a bad take on fat people, it was like, you already hit this, Kevin, like, yeah, it's so underwhelming to go to that after kaiju.
Yeah,
he has to perform a awkward B&E is basically what the last chapter is.
It's just like getting into my own house as a fat kid. That's gonna be tough. That's the final stakes.
It just like, Squirrel was exciting and fun, which makes this like, by comparison, which makes this sort of it makes it sort of like a bigger letdown than it is, and it's just
bring back Hercules for the last chapter.
Sure.
What I would do is like, all right, so maybe like he takes some of the sleep potion, like he's got some of that sleep potion in him, but he doesn't drink all of it. And
okay. He
keeps having little bouts of narcolepsy where like he'll fall asleep for like a second and then it'll be something different. So he's strobing through the realities, and every reality presents its own problem, like Enter the Florpus style.
That'd be awesome. Great reference.
Like that. Cool. Like that would be my
rapid fire way at the end.
Yeah, that's that would be the fireworks at the end. It's like, now a new reality, now a new reality, now a new reality.
He has a 2001 space experience and becomes a space baby.
Yeah. But, RL has a deadline, and it's. He was like, what if he's
can't let the kids have too much fun.
Yeah, what if he's a chunkus? What if he's just a big chunkus? Like, let's go.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
Wouldn't that be?
Wouldn't that be?
Wouldn't that be the worst? Says RL, petting a cat and leaning back in his chair.
Meanwhile, I have no fat because I just eat oatmeal all day.
I've been eating the same piece of lettuce for 17 years.
So Fat Matt gets into his house and then just doesn't have to fight his family. I was hoping for a little bit of just like not pulling a gun, but like just sort of like I had to knock out my brother. Things were getting serious. I climb into bed. Right. No, he just gets into bed, right?
I knew he wasn't my real brother. I said, pulling the cold trigger.
Snapping his neck. This won't matter in 10 minutes.
See you on the other side, Greg.
I'll see you in another life, brother.
There's always a lighthouse. Man, if that isn't the most 2007 ass shit.
There's always a lighthouse. It's a commentary on tropes and fiction. It was awesome. Sorry.
I love it.
Hey,
I'm gonna get so many angry letters about BioShock.
We'll always have that lighthouse. And then he gets back, and it's really anticlimactic. And then to throw the whole thing into a circle again, his mom is like, "Hey, happy birthday," because it's his birthday, I guess. And
he had forgotten about his birthday. Not RL. Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off, Kevin. I think this is very much a, oh my god, you're right. I was so busy this week, I completely forgot it was my birthday. It's like, RL, I feel like you just don't want to go back into the Word document and add in stuff about his birthday coming up.
Right.
But fine, you forgot about your birthday.
It's fine. And he's like, I can't wait to go back to my shitty life of being bullied at home and at school and everywhere I go.
No dad. I'm glad Dad's dead again, he said.
I'm so happy that I live in the tormented hell that I'm used to and not the tormented hell.
Of all the dads that I met, the best one was the dead one.
He goes to his father's grave and he gives it a sturdy kick just to make sure.
Did we say what the reveal was? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, his mom's birthday present to him is, like he asked, he has been moved into the guest room, but that's where the reality hole is. Just move the bed, dingus. Just move the bed.
Also, you're fine.
Yeah, you know how to get back. You know how to get back to your reality now. Like,
yeah.
Right. Go have some fun.
Yeah.
You just got a free bed that lets you slingers into other people. Slingers is the one where they jump into other
sliders.
folks, right? Sliders. Thank you.
Slingers is the cool version that you're going.
Yeah, you can just Hooters into anybody's reality now.
Just hop on over, fuck some shit up, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Live out your little 12-year-old, narcissist fantasies.
Yeah. Fall in love with Lacey when you're both of age.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, Lacey has a fucking job, so.
And she's 12.
You're never going to be as cool.
Her head is on real straight.
Yeah.
I was missing a little bit of resolution to Lacey and Bruce and Wayne in that, like, they're chasing him, and then he just gets away and you never hear from them again.
He evades the reality cops by hiding in some bushes, and they just run past him, and they're like, never going to find this guy, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what evidence do they have? Like, they don't even have a confession, so.
That's true. They don't know what he looks like. He could be anybody.
It's true.
I thought that was interesting with Fat Matt, where, like, at some point he is talking to his mom in the reality where he's fat, and at the door, and she won't let him in, and then suddenly you just hear Lacey and the BiBs going, "There he is, get him!" It's like, you don't know that. They could be like a kid selling cookies.
Well, who's to say they see things like we see things? They seem to be from a higher reality.
Oh, fuck, he's right.
So
they might have like another vision.
They've got Terminator vision for
Matt.
They've merely adopted a form that their current reality can comprehend.
Oh shit!
This is giving me some real R.I.P.D. vibes. You guys remember R.I.P.D.?
No. Actually.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar, but I don't remember it.
It's a movie that should have been my jam. It's gonna sound so great. Ryan Reynolds, and Jeff Bridges are playing Men in Black, but the Men in Black are people who like bust ghosts from the dead. Kind of thing.
Cool.
That sounds fun.
All right.
It sounds fucking rad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but the movie's called Ripped, and that's not cool.
Never burn your Jeff Bridges.
Damn.
So that was Kevin. You said this was your favorite book you've ever read. Is that what you said?
I thought it was really good. Is the quote.
Dude, I'll take your side a little bit here, Kevin. This one is nice because things happen in it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I have notes. I thought this would be a fun one to see as like acted out as like a.
I have never watched the episode, but this is the episode where they changed a bunch of stuff on it. He joins a hockey team in one of the realities, and you know why they did that, because in Canada. Every Canadian child knows how to fucking skate, so they're like, well, we know this kid can skate, so we can throw him out there for like a couple scenes.
Yeah, the Canadian government will pay us to put hockey in this episode.
Yes.
I love it. I don't know. There were just like a few like lines that really hit me. Like I like that idea. I just really love that moment of him being too anxious to sleep, and then him like thinking of all the good things that could probably happen. I just think
that was a great moment. Yeah,
that was very good.
I think if I was a very anxious kid, and I think if I had gotten that advice, like I probably would have had a few less sleepless nights thinking about the concept of death. So, so I thought that was cool. There are some missteps to be sure. I like that the cops are assholes. That's cool. I don't know. I don't think RL's a comrade, but I had some fun in this one.
There were some cool, and you're right, Kev. I would take this over another book of pranks and animals jumping out. Even though there's a monkey attack and a dog attack, I would still...
The monkey attack was funny. I laughed.
The dog attack was funny. The dog just want to kiss you on your nose, man. Just let the dog kiss you on your nose.
Yeah.
It's just something about, like, it wasn't what the book seemed to be at all. It just took me a while. You know what it is? I'm re-coming down, and I'm realizing that the very first page of this book, Matt talks about how he's into Star Trek, and then he calls the Klingons villains, which I think...
Are you really into it?
That's a gross mischaracterization of the Klingons. I don't know if you're really into Trek.
Also, total missed opportunity to have him go into a space Star Trek style world for a brief period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought for sure I was going to call upon was like, well, at least he would know that, like, he was so thrown off by the idea of the reality cops and everything. I was like, I feel like there's about 5 or 6 Star Trek episodes you could pull from to have a basis of reality.
I think you could franchise this one out, I think, and make it real like Samurai Jack style at the end, where like, maybe he's thwarted the cops for now, but he's hoping each sleep will be the sleep that brings him home.
Yeah, we could have quantum leaped, we could have sliders. I'm with you. This could have been, instead of doing 4 Monster Bloods, do a couple more of these.
Oh, dude. Okay, what if like the last part is he by like pure chance he reality holes back into his original reality, and like he appreciates everything, but he knows that he has to go to sleep at the end of all this.
Oh, that's dark and heavy, and I love it.
And he doesn't know what the odds of him rolling up his original reality is again, but he's just like, good night, Mom, good night, Dad, or good night, gravestone of Dad.
Rot in hell, gravestone Dad. I hope I never see you again.
Good night, brother. Good night, sister. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Kevin, this is an amazing poetic version of this story. I would watch this show.
Yeah,
that's a sad and heavy ending, and I love it.
Because we don't know what kind of world we're gonna wake up in tomorrow. Clearly,
it's like a little Lost in space, but like lost in reality, right?
Lost in sleep.
Lost in sleep, dude. Shit, let's get this fucking going, man. Let's get this on Apple Plus.
Maybe we can do a pilot and we put it up on Chad and Kevin Pyre only.
Yeah. RL, I know you're not. I know you don't listen to Goosebuds, but you are subscriber number 1 to Chad and Kevin Pyre only because you love Pyre.
He loves it. He loves playing Pyre and then not sending any of the characters to heaven.
Yeah. He purposefully throws the final match.
He purposely throws the matches and just lets them stew in their misery. And he goes, man, good. I'm glad the dog with a mustache is sad.
Rookie, you're down here with me, and you gotta keep that mustache.
I think that's been an episode of Goosebuds. Kevin.
That's been a Buds. Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. Welcome
to, I mean, you've been here before, but congratulations on, does it feel different as a full counselor?
Oh my God, I was a little nervous this episode, not for any real reason, just like the pressure's kind of on because I'm a host now. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a host on the show.
If we weren't clear in the beginning, Kevin is the official new third host of this show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've already tattooed his face on my butt.
It's not a joke. It's not a prank. I keep waiting for the psych and for to be dropped, but no. I am a host on Goosebuds now, and I'm super happy to be here.
We're welcome to have you. If you happen to have missed previous episodes 94, we Dom has gone off to greener pasture. Greener pasture sounds like he's a dog who died.
Dom really likes the Phantom Zone. He just wants to stay there and hang out in the Phantom Zone.
Dom realized he was gaining more power in the Phantom Zone, and for the projects he wanted to work on, he needed to harness that energy. So he'll be back at some point.
Very powerfully. He will be incredibly powerful when he comes back.
I miss Dom. It's sad that I won't get to edit his voice anymore. I'm also the editor on the show, I guess. Still, so look forward to me fighting with past me as like present editor me.
I am looking forward to a Kevin edit correction on something that Kevin in the podcast.
Yeah,
says.
Look forward to me and antagonizing myself both forward in time and back in time. So
just wait until the past Kevin and future Kevin sexual tension really gets going.
Yeah, that sexy bitch.
That sexy bitch.
But yeah, I'm super honored that you guys would ask me. I was a fan of Goosebuds, and then I got to be the editor on Goosebuds, and now I'm a host. So I feel like I felt like an ascended fanboy when I got to edit, and now I feel like whatever level 2 of that is. So
Super Saiyan God Kevin.
I do hate to break it to you. You are going to have to clean up Franklin's body.
Yeah. You break it, you bury it.
Yeah, we felt a lot of emotions. We were very close to Franklin, and it would be really sad for us to have to clean this.
Sure, I'm gonna bury him on the nicest hill.
Oh, that's nice. You can look out over the road that he always drove on.
Yeah, I mean, his lifeless corpse can't, but there's an afterlife. There's an afterlife that Franklin so deeply believed in, and he's going there. But.
And I hope that his quiver is full.
Oh.
And, hey, free bus.
This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters.
We are compelled to read the Book of Names, compelled by your generosity. We'd like to thank Hollis Hornbeak,
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Michael McDowell,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Josh Robertson,
David Cron,
Nathan Dolezal,
Mickey C,
Mike Lanteri,
Clayton C,
Ilcade,
Buddy Morrill,
Jim Greaves,
Mel Dipson,
Zankeith,
Joshua Lopez,
Danky McStanky,
Afsheen,
Dango Twist,
Aaron T. Strunk,
Brian Wells,
Victor, Zentacles,
Stealth Bates,
Becca McWilliams,
Joseph Miranda,
Patrick Reynolds,
Scott Colopy,
Robert Moon,
Jennifer Britton,
Jason Crooker,
John Keaty,
Clay Castle,
Miguel Pardo,
Christina Doling,
Calf,
Matt the Half-Court Warlock Bachelor,
Matthew X Gone Mark the Spot to you,
Sniggy,
Reinfected,
Maddie,
Eshak Arafin,
Jonas Blotterman,
Gregory D. Warren,
Alan Saylor,
Sam Hash,
Cody Redfield,
Rich Hilborn,
Bradford Coulter,
Aiden Alexander Dice,
Dylan Vaughn,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Jar Slinks,
Joshua Jacobwitz,
Justin Wagman,
Chosen One,
Cardboard Walk,
the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation,
Leviathan,
Up and Champ,
Rug,
Jonas Engman,
Paul Grasso,
Trans Rights,
Alicia Grafe,
Trent Davis,
Taylor Dierks,
Joe Remember to Save Early and Often Scott,
Moloyster,
Brock Graham,
Carl,
Anthony Kuwabara,
Joe Gorman,
Elusive Koala,
Blake Alvarez,
Yanni Markovina,
Trendy Moron,
Space Tiger,
Joe,
Brooke X,
Corey Shelley,
Jesus Christ,
Christian Van Skeever,
Connor Church,
Vincent Motica,
Luke Noodles,
Heath Robinson,
Jeremy Lowe,
Hugh Bolin,
Zam Bambino,
Brian Hobgood,
Slumlord Onion,
Jordan Lockwood,
Valhalla Black,
Foolish for Deborah,
Zach Connor,
Patreon_donator cameo,
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney,
Tom Whittam,
John the Howling Eye Duda,
Nicholas Johnson,
Nathan Remick,
Kevin Hamilton,
Vivaldi,
Andrew Fingers Crossed for a Vaccine by Slinkness Jadsack. Hey, maybe you got one. I heard they were just throwing them out windows sometimes.
Lord Cornwallis,
Eric England,
Elizabeth Steenweg,
Cardamom Bercambino,
Andrew Evans,
Reed Stubendick,
Mike Roch, haha, gotcha. It's actually Spencer.
Daddy's Happy Apple Boy,
Joey Evans.
Carewise Gamgee.
People named Chad aren't actually like what you assume, so I don't know what that means, but I'm into it. I'm here for it.
Goon Cahoots,
Swaggy Yolo Squire,
Cameron Hansen,
Carly Sarnowski,
Dylan McCann,
Buffcat,
SNES Chalmers,
Sean Minogue,
Glenn,
Wiggle It,
Etona Moore,
John Pigeon Hat Barber,
Yeah,
RL Slink,
Chip Handsome,
Matthew McClellan,
Stinklich,
JR Chip,
The Voyant, Claire,
Dan,
I like that one, that's classy,
Baz Garrettson,
Chris Pittman is a bone wizard,
Alex Moon the Robot Dog,
Ben Bohan,
Sarah Kemp,
Egg Baby,
Chili Dish Gambino,
Tanya Turtle,
Calamity Carl,
Jonas Evan Voldson,
Bad Vibes Jr.,
Germ Juice,
Nick Johnson,
Brett,
Adam You Goofed,
Stephen Day,
Caton Franklin,
Juan Jalapena,
Ryan Carroll,
Muscles Bear,
Jeremy Bowser,
Sadie Kitson,
Dakota Campion,
Keith Halcrow,
Timothy Misodulakis,
Chris, Keeper of the Mastosphere Nelson. Keep that Mastosphere safe, Chris. Keep it secret.
Clay McCarty,
Nata S. Say it backwards.
Matthew Stevens,
Megan McCormick Mason.
Ninja Breadman,
Parker Lee.
Carter Glass,
Hood Lemon.
the _venomous_ Viper,
Wade Norcross. Hambo.
got little old moi pretty freaked,
Raymond Hernandez.
Flemily,
The Crow Fens.
Matthew Sutton,
Russell Gore. Patrick Murphy. Wonderskin.
Jimmy Soul,
Peenaberg.
Jeffrin Ohi Kahi,
Elliot Thompson III.
Kelsey Kinnaman, reminds me of cinnamon, I love it,
Nicholas Butler. Xavier Jimenez.
Jordan Slamsy,
Brendan Arafin.
Comfy System,
Chris Petricus. Chris, I hope I'm saying your last name right. Let us know.
Russell Castberg,
Sunset Streak.
Dr. Chocula,
Cod Salmon.
Liam Neeson's Dough,
Michael Mello.
Kelly the Barbarian,
Dungeon Kappa.
Meet Virginia, MEAT,
Zach Weir.
Milky Nug,
Christopher Dowie.
Adam Muth,
Tobias Clark.
MC Hamster,
Julian Lamendia. Or Julian Lamendia.
Tamjid Munir, George Michael Wham. I didn't see the Wham coming. Just like the band, didn't see him coming.
The Shreknomicon.
Michael Kupka, Robert Allen Cook III,
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Ashley Northup, Dylan Napier,
Nicole Watkins.
Matthew Higgins,
Redemption. Zoranth.
Angelo Santone, and we'd like to welcome these new names to the Book of Names. Chris,
Welcome new Patreon Leanna Urenko.
Skelefella, I know you.
Welcome new patron 69 Polly Shore 311. It's a dangerous combination of names and numbers, I'll be honest.
Ross Short,
Welcome new patron Daniel Cullen.
Kenny M, welcome to the Book of Names. You are immortalized until someone stops listening to this podcast. I guess it's kind of like it only goes until people keep listening. You're there. You'll be there. You'll stay there forever, but maybe no one will know.
Thank you all so very, very much. We cannot do this show without you. We love you. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you again for another month of your support. We'll be back soon, and guess what? We'll be reading the names together soon. So if you want to update your name to make us say something funny, don't say anything offensive. We will skip over it, and we will yell at you if you do that. So just keep it clean. But we will be reading your new names. If you want to make us goof on each other, that's okay, as long as it's not mean, because we will not be mean to each other. We will apologize instantly, so you will not be able to make us be mean to each other. But we will be throwing this together, so get those names updated if you'd like to do that. And the new people in the Book of Names, you get the right silly names if you want to. That's just a little tip for you, new people. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.